Hi, my name is Kees and I help people from doing to being. And today I'm here with another video. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm here to talk about non-duality versus law of attraction and how it can actually match each other instead of contradict each other. So how they are actually not competing with each other or competing ideas, but actually similar ideas that actually overlap each other and can help you understand reality better. Both of them being true at the same time. So, let's dive into this. So, first of all, non-duality, you've heard me speak about it quite often on this channel, and non-duality is the idea that everything is one and everything is energy, you could say, or everything is God if we speak religiously. But I like the idea that everything is consciousness because we're conscious of everything, right? So at the highest level, you could say it's a sort of perspective. It's taking the biggest perspective we can get. So the biggest perspective we have is that everything is the same, is that everything is energy. If you look at everything, if you zoom totally out, there is only energy. So basically you cannot zoom out from that perspective because there is only energy, right? So what was there to zoom out from? Or, that's also when people, when you see a lot of non-dual teachers, I really like, for example, Tony Parsons and Jim Newman. They're teachers that it's really hard to to sometimes understand them, or because I've been in that game, I understand it. But it's as as somebody that's new to the idea of everything being the same, everything being this. It can be sort of, okay, there's nothing to talk about anymore because everything is this. And that's one perspective, and that perspective is in my opinion, totally true. And I'll tell you how that is not different from actually the law of attraction. But then it's very interesting to think, okay, but what are the different approaches? And the interesting thing, I'm also a teacher in letting go of limitations and in mindfulness. And is that not contradicting of non-duality as well? Maybe that's topic for another video. But for now, let's talk about law of attraction. So the idea of law of attraction is that you, as a person, attract and everything that's happening in your reality, and you're a creator of your reality. So, if you're the creator of reality and reality is something separate from you, then how can it be one? Well, let me tell you this. So this is just the idea of perspective. Most people in life do not take the bigger perspective, the non-dual perspective. They take the personal perspective. And this in a way is true. If you look at just life, then somehow out of all this, out of everything that is, something that seemingly seems separate arises. It seems separate is like the wave on the ocean. The wave is pure ocean. There's nothing different about the wave than the whole ocean. It's totally the same thing, but it appears. Similar to a human, you could say. A human appears out of thin air, we could say. It's not out of thin air, of course, because a whole process goes into it, a materializing process. And spirit goes into it, but you have many different levels of form, you could say. So you have on the spirit level, or on this level, on the energy level, there is a form created, and that form, you could say, it's your soul, and that soul has a sort of karma, a sort of task, or a sort of idea of why it's created. And that task or that idea or that creation is sometimes not known. And from that, actually, which is really cool, from that, an incarnation or a human can arise, let's say. So you have that human, And that human has a personal experience, but it's actually spirit having a human experience through the body, right? Okay, so because the body without spirit is just a corpse, right? So when you think of this personal perspective that spirit has through the body, the idea of this human experience is for us to clear ourselves and to relax some of the limitations which we have. And the best way, as a piece of non-physical form, you could say, and this human body being a physical form, the best way for the non-physical form to go into the physical form through birth, right? Or the best way for the I should say it in a different way. The best way for the non-physical form is to learn, actually, through being in the physical form, what it thinks, or what forms it also has, the spiritual form, but also the, let's say, the mental form, because the mind is also not something that is equal to the body. It's something that is also one layer of spirit, you could say, or one layer of non-physical reality. That mind is experiencing through physical reality, and through that physical reality it can start integrating. And one of the ways that it integrates is that it starts seeing through the law of attraction what is actually happening in its life. And through that it can get insights, it can learn lessons, it can reflect. So the physical life is for the layer above it, which is the mental, you could say the mental body. And the mental body is for the more non-physical dimensions, or the spirit. And all this is still energy, right? And then you have two approaches to look at this. So if you take the approach of, okay, how do we, as this personal experience that is generated, so the life experience you have as a sort of human life experience is generated through our mindsets and beliefs and our mental body. So our mental body is like in a certain way, and we get feedback on that mental body, and through life itself we can see, okay, hey, we're generating this. We can notice lots of things on, okay, this is my perspective on life and this is what I get back. I feel negative about life, okay, I get a negative life, right? This is a sort of lesson we can learn through the law of attraction and through life, is that we should clear out some of our misunderstandings and limitations. And then you have two ideas, and that's, well, most of the law of attraction stuff says, well, change your mind, right? So if you have a negative belief about something, then you will create something negative in your life, through which you become conscious that you have a negative belief, or that's at least the idea. I hope that you start understanding that more and more and more. And through that you can see, oh wait, I need to change my mind about this, because otherwise I'll be attracting more of how I think about life, right? Because our thoughts actually create things. This has been proven by science now. And there are very interesting research papers on this right now, which we can talk about later, or in another video probably. But this perspective of we're attracting actually through our mindset, then we can understand, okay, our life is actually not what we want, or it's not balanced. So we can look at our mind and at our mindset, which is great, and then we can do two things. One is what most law of attraction teachers say, change your mind, right? Change your mind. And I found also in my own practice that the idea, what you then do is you start thinking positive thoughts and sort of judging negative thoughts. And you see that while you're thinking positive, you notice, okay, this is actually working. I'm starting to feel better, etc. Because if you think positive, you start to feel better. But I'm still attracting negative things, and I have a hard time controlling some of the thoughts which are negative. And that is because our mental body is fed or is a result of the level higher than that, which is the energy body. And the energy body, where we are able to tap into this by focusing our awareness or our energy on that mental body, and then seeing how that feels, or what sort of ideas or insight or intuition we can get. Our awareness can grow through, for example, mindfulness, and by being relaxed, more relaxed in our lives. And our life experience will be better through this, through also the law of attraction, but also our whole sensitivity to what's possible will also be better. So I found in my life that this approach does not work for me, to change my mind the whole time, change my mindset. I like it, and it works. I believe that it works. I've noticed that it works, but it's very hard in a way to do that in a sort of controlling way, to say, okay, I'm going to think about this and not about this, and blah, 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 blah. So why I like non-duality as a teaching is because it basically says, okay, since everything is the same, we can be accepting to what is. So then you have a negative thought, and instead of being negative about the negative thought and actually creating more negativity, we can let go of the negative thought by focusing on it, relaxing in it, and then you open it. That's the process of letting go, which I teach. And that's a very powerful process, because you go into the negative thought or into the negative pattern, which is usually has some sort of energy related to it, because if we believe a thought, it gets energized, and it takes up more of our worldview, but it also pulls in, let's say, reality to manifest more of, let's say, that thought, if you energize it. And also, the interesting thing with letting go is that instead of focusing on the positive and keep doing on the positive, you're actually removing the negative. And by removing some of the negative, what is left is already positive. So that is I find this a very nice practice. And a very, very easy practice, and that's of course why I teach it as well. And especially it helps me to do that from a non-dual perspective, from the idea, okay, this negative thought is not negative, but it's just a thought which is not aligned because it doesn't feel good. Yeah, where the law of attraction comes in. If it doesn't feel good, then you know the outcome will also be not good. So if you want to attract something, you want to make sure that you feel good, or it feels good, because then you attract that feeling good stuff. So through that non-dual perspective, you see, okay, this is not bad stuff, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit with that limitation, and I'm going to relax into it and see what it needs to relax and open and let go. And by letting it go, letting it flow, it removes itself from your life, your behavior changes, and most of all, your thoughts changes. Because through the process of letting go, you change your energy body, and by changing your energy body, your mental body automatically changes, which changes your reality. So you always actually, that's why I like this combination between law of attraction and non-duality. You always want to go for the highest level, and the highest level is as close as you can to let's say the spirit itself. So whether that's on the soul level or on the energy body level or any level higher actually than the mental level, these are just entrances. So when something that is negative has happened, I use the process of letting go to let it go. And also, what also happens is negative things in my life happen, and they're a great teacher, because through those negative things I can see, okay, wait, there are still some limitations. There are still some things which I haven't looked at, which are still limiting me. And maybe they're really subtle. Maybe it's not the negative self-destructive type of thing, but maybe it's, and probably it's something that's, right now I've done so many of these letting go of limitations. I see my life is already super positive. But for example, today, I thought, for example, that on the financial scale, because I was not thinking so much in financial things, I had the belief I always get what is necessary for me. I always have the money that is necessary for me to, survive, continue, etc. And this is true. Ever since I believe this, and I trust in this, I've been having this experience, which is really, really great. But then I also see that what I'd love is to have a little bit of abundance, or to have lots of abundance. I would really love some more abundance, instead of always being able to cope. And that is, I think it's not a negative belief to think, okay, I can always deal with whatever comes my way. No, but there is a more positive step. And why not raise yourself? So I let go and use the process of letting go, which I teach in the lessons we do at here in Amsterdam at the Bewustzijnsschool, but also the online Skype sessions we do, but also new courses coming in English. I'll let you know about that later, but or in another video, I mean, with that. But this process helps me to then raise my vibration, or raise my beliefs about myself, let go of the negative beliefs, or in this case the mediocrity. Sorry for this, mediocrity beliefs, so that I'm not, that I don't feel average, but I feel good or amazing or lovely. And this is something I'm still working on in my own life. But to me, the law of attraction and non-duality are not different. They're the same thing, but they're just working on a different level. Non-duality is working on the top level, and saying basically almost like the person, it doesn't exist, it's not important. And law of attraction say everything is from the person, and experience is for the person to improve. And both are true, because everything is energy. But we have this personal experience for us to improve at every layer. So reality is definitely something to learn from if you want to have a nicer experience and want to learn lessons. And the soul and the spirit definitely wants to learn lessons and wants to integrate and wants to accept. And this is what I've seen through my own being in touch with my higher self, being in touch with higher parts of myself. I understand these lessons, that everybody is here to evolve. Everybody is here to improve, and lots of people are here at this time as well to improve. You see a great awakening happening of the planet and of society, where more people are becoming conscious of negative things and putting them online. So it feels like things are more negative, but this is actually sort of coming out of the negativity which was already there. And a lot of positive movements are happening, like the spiritual movement, but like the environmental movement, things like that. Sustainability movement, which is something which I find amazing. And you see more people meditating, etc., etc., etc. And all this is raising the vibration, raising the consciousness of society. We're becoming more conscious of the things we have to let go. But on the other side, we're also becoming more conscious of our true power. And more people are waking up to the fact that they're actually a non-physical, multidimensional being living a temporary human experience. And through that understanding, they can understand, okay, even though I am not the body and I'm not my thoughts or my emotions, they're still guiding me. They're still guiding reality. For example, reality or my circumstances are being guided by my thoughts. My thoughts are being guided by my emotions or my feelings. My feelings and my emotions are also guided by my energy body, and my energy body is deeper guided by my soul, and my soul is deeper guided by spirit, or let's say the oversoul or God or whatever. And it's not that I'm super interested to get all these levels right. It's more that I understand that there is more and that everything has a purpose. Suffering has a purpose, and suffering has a purpose because it's only suffering because there is somebody that is suffering, and that is you. You have the idea for all your suffering. There is somebody that feels that this is a problem, this is a bad thing. And that because you can't see it as you can't accept it, can't let it go, can't go with the flow, can't not take life so seriously, cannot relax. Because of these things, you're holding on to the problem and think the problem is a real thing. While if you let go of the problem disappears. There is no problem then anymore. And of course, this is a simplistic version. There are terrible things that can happen in people's experience. And why they happen, I have no idea. I know one thing, and that there's always something useful there. There's always a lesson there. Sometimes for the soul, sometimes for other souls, and it's not something I'm able to judge or advise on, but I do know that everything has a purpose, and you don't look to other people. You don't know their purpose. Don't know why life is like that for them. It's important for you to focus on yourself. Not to, of course, ignore others, but put yourself first in a way that's healthy, that's caring for yourself. Because if you take good care of yourself, then you can take good care of your family. If you can take good care of your family, you can take good care of your neighborhood and the earth and other things. So I would like to leave you with the thought that law of attraction and non-duality are not competing with each other, but they complete each other. So I'm still evolving, and I really like sharing with you guys, and I hope it helps, and let's evolve together. Goodbye for now. Have a nice day. Bye.